Namaste. Good to be back with you all, wherever you may be. We had a great weekend in Boone, North Carolina, up at the top of the hills, top of the mountains. So beautiful. The Blue Ridge Mountains. Wow. Had a wonderful retreat on the weekend. The retreat we usually used to do in Maui, on Maui, with Ramdas in the spring. Now we're doing it. We'll probably continue doing it every year in Boone. It's really a lovely spot and a great place. Everybody was so wonderful. So good to be here. Pranavam Pavanakuma Kalabana Pavaka Gyanagan Jasuhraga Pasiram Sarachabha Atulita Baladham Himshala Badeham Dhanujavan Krishna Kyani Nama Graganyam Sakala Gunanidhan Vanaranam Adisham Raghupati Priya Bhaktam Atajatam Namam Koshpadi Kritavarisham Mushiki Kritarakshasam Ramayana Mahamalaratna Mande Nilatmajam Anjana Nandanam Viram Janaki Shokanashana Kapesam Akshahanta Mande Lanka Bhankaram Ranga Sindho Salilam Salilam Yashokavahi Janakatma Jaya Adayatane Tadahalanka Amamitan Pranjali Ranjaneyam Manojavan Maruttatulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Vardishtam Vatatmajam Vanardutamukham Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadhe Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadhe Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadhe Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadhe Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadhe. I go for shelter, I take refuge in the one who brings, in Ram's ambassador, and the one who brings Ram to me. This is Hanuman. This is Maharaji. We invoke the presence of these beings. And through that presence, we enter into Ram. Without these great beings, we don't know how to find ourselves, where to look. But by merging with the presence of these great beings, we are moved into our true nature. Ram, the Lord of the universe. Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadhe Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadhe Anjaneya Matipatalana Kanchanadri Kamaniya Vigraham Parijad Taramula Vasana Bhavayami Pavamananandanam Yatra Yatra Raghunath Kirtana Tatra Tatra Kritamastakhanjali Vashpavare Paripurna Lochana Martinamat Rakshasantakam Bolo Bajranga Bali Hanuman Ki Jai. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai. Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare, Jai Jai. Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare, Jai Jai. Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Rama Krishna Hare, Jai Rama Krishna Hare. Sitaram, 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 yes, Sitaram. 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 Nitaram, 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 Sitaram, Sitaram, yes, Sitaram. Sitaram, Nitaram, 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 Sitaram, Sitaram, yes, Sitaram. Sitaram, Sitaram, yes, Sitaram. Sitaram, 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 yes, Sitaram. Sitaram, 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 Yevitaram. Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Shri Guru Charanam, Shri Hari Sharanam. From taking refuge, shelter at the feet of the Guru, one receives the blessings and the shelter of Hari, of Ram, Krishna. Shri Guru Charanam, Shri Hari Sharanam. Shri Guru Charanam, Shri Hari Sharanam. Shri Guru Charanam, Shri Hari Sharanam. Shri Guru Charanam, Guru Charanam Shri Hari Sharanam Guru Shri Guru Charanam Kandamandalakana Yaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Dhyanamulam Guru Murti Pujamulam Guru Padam Mantramulam Guru Vakyam Mokshamulam Guru Kripa Guru Madhye Sthita Mata Matrim Madhye Sthito Guru Guru Mata Namastestu Matra Guru Namamyaham Durgati Nashini Durga Jaya Jaya. Kala Vinashini Kali Jaya Jaya. Durgati Nashini Durga Jaya Jaya. Durgati Nashini Durga Jaya Jaya. Umarama Brahmani Jaya Jaya. Umarama Brahmani Jaya Jaya. Jai Radhe Sita Rukmani Jaya Jaya Radhe. Radhe Sita Rukmani Jaya Jaya. Kala Vinashini Kali Jaya Jaya. Durgati Nashini Durga Jaya Jaya. Umarama Brahmani Jaya Jaya. Umarama Brahmani Jaya Jaya. Jai Radhe Sita Rukmani Jaya Jaya. Radhe Sita Rukmani Jaya Jaya. Kala Vinashini Kali Jaya Jaya. Durgati Nashini Durga Jaya Jaya. Durgati Nashini Durga Jaya Jaya. Umarama Brahmani Jaya Jai Radhe Sita Rukmani Jaya Radhe Sita Rukmani Jaya Jaya Radhe Sita Rukmani Jaya Jaya Radhe Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was I so blind, but now I see. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let's take some of this. Where are you, Google Docs? There. So this weekend we are at Omega for the chant weekend. It's in person, but there's a one-day workshop with me on Tuesday. But there's a separate one-night Sunday streaming option available, so you can check that out if you can't make it. I think it's maybe sold out already. I'm not sure. No, it's not sold out, so you can still make it. October 21st, Save the Date program is a fundraiser for saving the white elephants, and I am a special guest. That night I'll be special. Then the next weekend, October 28th and 29th, New York City at the Upper West Side Church, Church of Peter, Paul, and Mary. 2 nights Kirtan workshop and chanting and Hanuman Chalisas with Nina. And then going to Maui in November. And then the first week of January, I'm in Blue Spirit in Costa Rica. And that's it for the moment. Someone's asking what song or poem I read when I was with Bob at in Boone. It was by a great yogi named Shabkar, Shabkar, and it's called Life Beyond Time is the name of the poem. And it's very beautiful, very, very beautiful devotional poem. Tibetan guru devotion is very important in every tradition, and in Tibetan tradition as well. Very important. Another question. Should we read Srimad Bhagavatam? If you want to, you can. I've actually never read the whole thing, but you can read it if you want. It's wonderful stories of Krishna. Somebody's saying, when I do practice for a while, I don't know what kind of practice, but they feel a burning feeling that's overwhelming sometimes and wonder whether it's a signal to slow down for a little bit. I don't know. You have to listen to your own intuition about things. I don't know what practice you're doing. I don't know if you're being too aggressive and ambitious or what. I have no idea. So you have to figure it out. If you're doing some practice, maybe it was taught to you by somebody, and whoever taught it to you, you should go back to them and ask them what to do. If it hasn't been taught to you and it's just something you read in a book, then you have to figure out how you really feel about it. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but I don't know. So, there's a photo of Maharaji sitting on his tucket with the copy of Srimad Bhagavatam. I don't know that photo. I don't know if it's actually the Bhagavatam or not. It could be the Ramayana, it could be the Bhagavad Gita, but he never discussed that specifically with the Westerners, as far as I know. Do I get tired of chanting the same mantra? Even if I did get tired, that's a sensation or a feeling, an emotion. And you simply let go and you come back to the mantra. You might get tired if you're overly aggressive and tense and ambitious, or if you're just tired. But the mantra is always going on within us. We're just trying to tune to it, to that place. So you can get bored. You go through every possible state of mind there is to experience, and everything is simply you let go. And if you can't release, you can take a break in your practice and rest, take it easy, go for a walk, and that kind of stuff. Don't bang your head against the wall. It's not a good idea, and it's not very helpful. So if things get difficult, if your practice gets dry and you can always take a break. It's not a test. It's not something to achieve. It's a way of living. How does one stay centered when illness and pain of body draw attention to the body and mind? Well, it's very difficult. Very difficult. And especially if you haven't been doing practice for a long time, if you're not rooted in that, and even if you are, it's the pain, physical pain. In this case, I guess you're talking about physical pain. Illness and pain of the body. It's really hard. Very, very difficult. There are ways of working with the pain. There are ways of using the pain as an object of awareness, of really getting into it and noticing what it is, and is it really always there, or does it come and go? What's the feeling? I mean, there's Buddhist practices about these like meditations on pain, but it's very difficult to keep a practice going. Now remember, when you do practice, you're not supposed to feel any particular way all the time. You're supposed to, if you're doing mantra practice, you're supposed to remember the mantra, listen to the mantra inside, or make quiet, or sing it, or something, and be aware of what you're doing. So awareness is always there. But the pain, when there's physical pain, it's very difficult to remember to be aware. You get really lost in the pain, in the suffering, in the sensation. So there's many different ways of dealing with the pain, practices about chronic pain. So you can find those. I don't really know them. But it's interesting, Ram Dass was always talking about dealing with pain and dealing with difficult situations and practice and all that. But at a certain point in his life, it was very intellectual. So one time we had watched, he and I together and some other people, we had watched a video of something, an interview that someone had done with him. And we were sitting around and someone asked me, it was from the 80s. It was, from a while ago, before the stroke, I think. And somebody asked me what I thought about it. And I said, it's a little creepy. And he looked at me, what do you mean? And I said, you're talking about illness and pain and suffering and that. And you're about to hit the wall at 100 miles an hour. You haven't hit the wall yet when he hadn't had his stroke yet. And when he had the stroke, that's when all that got very real. And then he began a much more deeper, intense, and real practice. There was no time off for him after the stroke. There was always pain. He was always in that chair. He could not do anything for himself. He needed help all the time. And this was emotionally very difficult and physically extraordinarily difficult. But he had been talking about it. And he looked at me and he agreed with me at that. When I said that, he said, yeah, you're right. There was no love in that interview. It was all intellectual and ideas, full of ideas, but not really dealing with reality. So when there's a lot of physical pain, it's really hard to be present with it, which is why they always say, do practice when you can, because it's inevitable that we will get sick and suffer and die. And people we know will get sick and die and suffer. And we're going to have to deal with those situations. So we must find a way to live every day in the best way we can. So, where I lost my place here. Somebody wants to know, at the retreat, I said there's 7 colors that we see with our eyes, but that there's another color of Ram that we don't see with our eyes. We can only see that with our hearts, our inner vision. So why do I always wear red? I wear red because my guru told me to wear red. Simple. It's not complicated. Can I share some of my childhood and early experiences of religion and spirituality? There were none. nothing culturally, nothing in my childhood. I had a few moments that I remember I remember one time I was sitting in the car. I was getting picked up to go to day camp. I must have been 7 or 8, maybe even younger. And I was sitting in the seat of the car, and I remember the sun shining in the car. And something happened at that moment. I don't know what it was, but I still can feel that moment. There was something happened. But other than that, as far as my childhood, I was just a normal kid. I had no spirituality, no religious anything. How can I find faith? You know, St. Paul wrote, by faith, he wrote, by grace was I saved through faith. It's a very powerful statement. Faith, real faith, living faith, is based on our experience of being connected to something deeper than our own stuff. A great saint, or a great being, a deity, some being that is beyond where we are at. And when we connect to those beings, we get loosened up, we get let go, let out of jail temporarily, the jail of our own thoughts. And in those moments, we connect and we get confidence from that connecting. We get real faith from that connection. That's grace. But we have what they call the vasanas, or the tendencies of the mind and emotions, to just go on cranking out thoughts and emotions all day long, all life long, which we believe, which we identify with. And so we lose the awareness of the connection, of the grace, and we lose the faith temporarily. So through practice, one makes oneself more available. One makes one's heart more available to real love. Real love doesn't come and go. You don't get it from anybody. You don't fall in it. You don't fall out of it. It's our true nature. It lives within us as who we are, not as something else, but as who we really are. Well, when we know who we are, we will have faith, and that will be from the grace of our own being. A guru or a saint only is not identified with the body. They are not living. They might be in a body temporarily, but the real guru lives within. And that's where the love is. And that's where the grace is. So you lose it, you get it back. You lose it, you get it back. Yeah, the next question is, I heard the story about when Maharaji woke up in the night and drove hours to surprise us at a very specific time. Why was he so committed to performing those feats for your group? I don't know why, but the results were a tremendous amount of wonder and a tremendous amount of connection and faith in him that he could and would do those things to show us that he was always with us. Yeah. What is the mantra to reverse hair loss? Minoxidil namaha. Om Shri Minoxidil namaha. Small dose minoxidil. How do I interpret, if you have a toothache, you do what you do, but the mind remains on the tooth? You're saying Maharaji said that? Well, that's what we're talking about. If you have a toothache, if you're in pain, you go around, but there's a part of your mind always on that pain. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure exactly if you've quoted that correctly or not. But on one hand, it's like the woman walking with the water, the bucket of water on her head. She's talking to her friends. They all have buckets on their head. The kids are running around. They're doing stuff. They're walking. They never forget that the water's on their head. They stay balanced, even though they're doing other things. And that's what they say about mantra practice. They say that's how much attention you should keep on the mantra. You don't have to kill the mantra. You don't have to squeeze it and grab it and hold on to it for dear life. You keep just enough attention on the mantra so that you're always aware of it, even while you're doing other things in life. So when you have a toothache, you go to work, you do all kinds of stuff, you go to the movies, you enjoy things, but you're always aware of that tooth until you pull it out. What gives you patience on this path? Me, patience on this path? I have no patience. Have you always had patience, or did you learn it? You don't learn patience. You just see that every time you go down, you come back up, and every time you go up, you come back down. Things are always changing. You can't hold on to anything. You have to loosen up and just blast through life the best you can, and not try to hold on for dear life all the time. You just, you start eventually to give yourself a break because you see the way things are. And after a while, you stop hating yourself so much. And you start to treat yourself with a little bit more kindness. It takes a while. But when you do, then you have more space around the things that happen during the day, and you could call that patience. Is the mind like an instrument that we can use? I wish I could just put it down like I put a pen down when I'm done writing. Well, we have to deal with a few definitions here. We can't just use words that mean different things to different people. For Westerners, mind means thinking. For Westerners, when you say my mind, this is all the stuff we think all day long. Our thoughts. We think our thoughts are our mind. In the East, it's a little different. They consider mind awareness, consciousness, like the sky, a space of the sky. And thoughts are like clouds that float through the sky. We identify with the clouds and we don't see the sky. That's the Western mind. The Western idea of mind is thoughts. But the Eastern idea of mind is the space around the thoughts in which the thoughts flow. So when you say you want to lay down the mind, you really mean you want to be free of thinking, or but you can never be free of thoughts, or at least for a long time. Thoughts will keep arising like waves keep coming off the ocean. They come as a result of storms far away, maybe weeks before. And our thoughts come from our actions earlier in life or even maybe in previous lives. So you can't just stop the thoughts, but you can train yourself to let go and to unidentify, get unstuck to the thoughts. And that takes practice. That's what practice is about, essentially. All the practices, most of the 99% of the practices have to do with training us to release ourselves from the tyranny of thought. But you can't think yourself out of a prison that's made of thought. Every thought itself is the prison. So over time, through practice, through training, through opening, through cultivating kindness and compassion, we develop a different position. We sit differently in ourselves. Maybe we sit a little deeper so that the thoughts and emotions that come through, maybe they don't grab us quite as deeply as they used to. And over time, those thoughts can come and go, and we don't think them. We don't identify with them. They just come and they go, and that's the story. So, mantra practice, watching the breath, concentration practice, devotional practices, all these practices help us free ourselves from the tyranny of the stories we tell ourselves about ourselves, which are all made up of thoughts and emotions. There's nothing else there except thoughts and emotions. So the more we can learn to let go of that, not push away, because pushing away is also being attached and stuck to it. Letting go and coming back to the breath, letting go, coming back to the mantra. Little by little, we begin to experience things a little differently. I don't remember. In Boone, I talked about wanting to die in India. What was going on at the time and what changed it? Do those feelings ever come back in waves? I'm not sure what you're talking about. I mean, you might be referring to when I said when I went to India the first time, I never thought I would come back to America, ever. I was going and I was finished with America, or so I thought. And what changed is my guru knew what was best for me and sent my ass back here in order to deal with stuff. So my stuff, because I wasn't going to be able to clean the mirror of my heart in India. Probably I would have gotten sick and died very soon, or gotten very chronically ill that I would never recover, because it was we were cruising around at full speed, eating on the streets, drinking the water everywhere. I had hepatitis. I was really sick. So he sent me back, and that saved me and allowed me to do some work on myself that I wouldn't be able to do. I would not have been able to do there. Oh, you mean maybe jumping in the river when I was telling the story when I was having a nervous breakdown. I was really completely insane at the time. I was really having a full breakdown, hallucinating. My heart was burning with pain and suffering. And it's natural to want to end that. So I was thinking about jumping in the river. But I understand now that's not going to end anything. So the only end to things is when we free ourselves from this delusion that we are separate from everybody else, the delusion of ego. So, yeah. What should a person do if they are physically ill? Try to get better, whatever it takes. Nobody wants to be sick. Don't just, I wouldn't, if I was ill, I wouldn't just say, okay, I'm sick, I'll just sit here, see what happens. No, I would try to get better. I don't exactly know where you're coming from with that question, but if one knows to be good to oneself, why would one not try to heal oneself from any kind of illness? Right? Does kirtan take you to the same mind space as you were when Maharaji was around? Oh, you mean Maharaji's not around? I didn't notice that. I don't know. I think he's around. If he wasn't around, I wouldn't be around, that's for sure. So chanting, when I chant, I feel he's around, for sure. And chanting brings me deeper into his presence. Yes, the body's not here, so I'm not having those experiences. But if the body was here, I'd have to go to India to see him. Now that the body's not here, I can be with him right here. So, okay, that's enough of that. Let's do this Hanuman mantra. Om Ham Hanumate Namah. Om Ham Hanumate Namah. Om Ham Hanumate Namah. Om Ham Hanumate. Om Ham Hanumate. Om Ham Hanumate Namah. Om Ham Hanumate Namah. Om Ham Hanumate Namah. Om Ham Hanumate. Om Ham Hanumate. Om Ham Hanumate Namah. Om Ham Hanumate Namah. Om Ham Namah. Om Ham Hanumate. Om Ham Hanumate. Om Ham Hanumate Namah. Shri Guru Charan Saroja Rajan Nijama Mukuru Sudhai Varno Raghuvar Bimal Jasu Chodaya Kupalachari Buddhihin Tanu Janike Miram Bhavan Kumar Siyaram Palabudhi Vidya Dehu Mohi Aru Kale Subekar Syavara Ramachandra Pada Jai Sharanam Jaya Hanuman Gyana Gunasara Jaya Kapi Sati Loka Ujjala Ramaduta Tulita Baladhama Anjani Puta Pavana Sutanama Mahavira Bikram Bajrangi Kunmati Nivar Sumati Kesangi Kanchana Varana Viraja Subesa Kanana Kundala Kunchita Kesa Natu Bajuru Dvaja Viraja Ambe Muja Jane Usade Ankara Suvana Kesari Nanda Teja Pratapa Mahajagavan Vidyavan Guni Ati Chaturam Kaja Karive Koatu Ucharita Sunive Korasiya Ramalakanda Siddhana Basi Tukshmaru Padarisiya Hindekav Kataru Padalan Kajara Imaru Padari Asura Sahari Ramachandra Ke Kaj Savari Vaya Sajivana Lakanaji Ay Ira Guvira Shira Lai Gupati Kinhi Bhota Barai Tumama Priya Bharatai Samabhai Savadan Tumaro Jasagao Asakaya Shripati Kuntalagao Sanakadika Brahmadi Munis Arada Sharada Saita Ahis Yamakubera Digapala Jahante Kabhi ko bidkai sake kahante Upakar Sugriva Inkinha Rama Melaya Raja Padadinha Moro Mantra Vibhishana Mama Ankeshvara Bhai Sampajagajan Gosahasra Jojana Paravana Yotai Madhura Palajan Prabhu Mudrika Mele Mukamahi Jala Dilange Gaye Achara Janahi Durgama Kaja Jagat Ke Jete Sugama Anugra Tumare Te Te Ram Duare Tumara Kovare Otana Agya Binu Pezai Sab Sukla He Tumhari Sharana Shakakaru Kodaran Apana Teja Samaro Ape Dinon शासन कट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे, नासे रोग हरे सब पीर, जपत निरंतर मत बीर, संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, अनुपम बचन ध्यान जो लावे, सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साज, और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोवे अमित जीवन पल पावे, प्रताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियार, साधु संत के तुम रखवार, असुर निकंदन राम दुलार, अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता, राम रसायन तुम्हारे पास, सदा रहो रघुपति के दास, तुम्हारे भजन राम को पाओ, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसराओ, अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई, जन्म जन्म हर भक्त कहाई, और देवता छिट न डरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई, संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमेरे हनुमत बलबीर, जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई, जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, जुत ही बंदी महासुख होई, जोया पर हनुमान चालीसा, होया सिद्धि साकी गणेशा, तुलसीदास सदा हर चेरा, कीजे नाथ हृदय देव, पवन तनय संकट हरण, मंगल मूर्ति रूप सियारा, राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसर सुरभूप, सियावर रामचंद्र पद जय शरणम, मंगल मूर्ति मारुत नंद, सकल अमंगल मूल निकंद, मंगल मूर्ति मारुत नंद, सकल मंगल मूल निकंद, राम जय जय राम, श्री 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 राम जय राम, श्री राम जय 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 जय राम. Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. samasta sukhino bhavantu loka 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 samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings live in peace. May all beings be happy. Are we here next week? We're home next week? Yeah? We'll be here next week?
I think so.
Well, amazing. 2 weeks in a row. After 140 in a row, 2 weeks seems amazing. Okay, much love, many Ram Rams. Take good care. And see you soon. Namaste.